country road, take me home to a backwoods creek down a long dirt road. If it means no headstone, at least I'll be where I belong. I represent the country, yeah, I love the slums. Raised off in the sticks, man, this is where I come from. Love crackling cornbread, collard and corn-fed. Southern by the grace of God, and when I'm gone, country dead. I ride them dirt roads, sometime to reach that destination. Ducked off in Jones Wood, it's like I'm always on vacation. Blaze up the bonfire, calling up my country folk. Just filled up that mason jar, light the pine and take a smoke. It's all good, we all fine, and Marcus brought the moonshine. Kid Rock in the dashboard, peaches shaking in the moonlight. It's something about them back roads, stretching out across the county line. It takes me back to my days of young, when my grandma was my sunshine. I love all the things that the country bring. Backwood riding little country lane, on the front porch with my girl and kids, cause the smell of beneath the country rain may not mean that much to some, but to me it's where my heart belongs. I'm calling on them country roads, them the ones that take me home. Country road, take me home, to a backwoods.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Here with the Bluegrass Cup Series at Darlington tonight. 14 drivers have registered for this race. We currently have 88 laps to run here tonight. 2 stage breaks. First one being on lap 35, the second one being on lap number 75, and then from there to the end of the race. Got right about 8 seconds left here in practice, and we're going to roll over into the qualifying. Steve will be joining momentarily. He's the one pressing the buttons behind the scenes at the moment.
Good evening.
There he is.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, guys. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that follow button, and share out the broadcast. If each of you share it out one time, that's one extra viewer. We'll have like 32 viewers, and we can double that each time. I mean, we could hit 100 people watching live here tonight. I got faith in the process, and I know y'all do too, as we are fixing to go qualified here. Let's see. There we go. Got a little stuck there. First on to the track in car number 15 is Matt Grenier from Saco, Maine, in the 15 machine. Also on the track in car number 31, making his way onto the speedway from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas, it's Brandon Holder. Brandon Holder in the 31. Also on track in that number 8 amp machine. We go right here looking on board. He's carrying a live look in tonight. It's Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey Neal Jr. in that number 8 amp National Guard car. As we ride on board with Mikey Neal Jr. from Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Well, he makes his laps. Talking about Jonathan Cogswell going quick time here for just a second. He's had a rough go of it this season. Sitting quick time now. Now he gets knocked down to second by Brandon Holder, Jonathan Cogswell, David Farmer, and Matt Grenier. Mikey Neal Jr., man on screen right now. He will go second quick with his first lap.
As he heads down the back straightaway for his second time. Look at Center Cutter go to quick time with a 29.46. Holder to second, Neal to third. Cogswell in fourth. Farmer is in your top 5. Out of turn number 4 as you look at Mikey Neal Jr. Let's see if he improves there. He goes quick time with a 29.37.
He must have said, hey, I'm on camera. I'm going for it. I'm getting it tonight, because that is a blazing time. Nearly a tenth over second place right now. Cedric Hunter, Gabriel Ellison out on track right now in that number 77. Had a pretty good run last week.
So your top 5 looking like this: Neal, Hunter, Holder, Huffman, and Cogswell. Your top 5 as we're watching Gabriel Ellison there. He goes 5th quick with his first lap. On his second lap now, up against that wall out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway there. Ellison in top 5, Huffman right there in front of him on the times. As he exits turn number 4. Let's see if he improves his second lap. He goes to 4th quick. Huffman drops to 5th. Next on track in car number 1 is Tyler Berry Motorsports, Leonardtown, MD. What's MD, BJ?
Maryland.
Maryland, okay. Maryland is MD. How do you get a D out of that?
Maryland.
Oh, at the end. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I would do like ML. I don't know. That's the reason why.
I would too. I agree. I would too.
Or Minnesota. That make me say something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Scott Fritz on the track. taking his first time lap. Let's see here where he qualifies in. He goes second quick right underneath Mikey Neal Jr. And he hits the wall in his second lap, so the second lap should not count. And that's going to be all for him on this time lap here. Still left to qualify, Frankie Broso, Brian Terry, Jason Bridges, Doug Newbegin. 13 drivers signed up tonight here in the Bluegrass Cup Series. Race number 2. The cutoff tonight to go to the round of 12.
And last week's winner, Frankie Barroso, automatically locked in. Does not have a time down here tonight. Not qualified yet. Along with Brian Terry, Jason Bridges, Doug Newbing, and Jason Collins. Our current points going into tonight are as follows. Alex Huffman, Doug Newbigging, Frankie Barroso automatically qualified in with last week's win. Brandon Holder, Cedric Cunner, Scott Fritz, Gabriel Ellison, Mikey Neal Jr., Jonathan Cogswell, Matt Grenier, David Farmer, Jason Bridges, Mo Abbott, Ryan Campbell, Brandon Zimmerman, and Brian Terry round out your top 16.
Alrighty, so let's take a look here. Let's see. Let's see here, BJ. I'm just gonna throw something out there. Brandon Holder. Let's see. Let's move Brandon Holder. Brandon Holder, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, right now you're sitting fourth in the speed charts and qualifying. How do you expect your night to go?
Well, we hope it goes well. I mean, I really like this track, and hopefully we can pull out a little bit and not slide through the pit box like we did last week.
I forgot about that. That's true. So going in to the round of 12 next week, you feel pretty confident about that?
Yeah, I feel like we're in pretty good position to move forward if we just keep our nose clean here.
Definitely. So tonight, 188 laps. That's a long race, isn't it?
That is a long affair here at Darlington.
Well, if you catch us sleeping, you gotta do some excitement for us, okay?
All right, I'll hit the closest guy to me.
All right. Go ahead and thank those fine sponsors that's on your car. Makes it all possible for you week in and week out.
Yeah, I got to thank BK Paints and Steed Brothers Trucking. Got to thank y'all for putting on the broadcast, too.
All right, Brandon Holder from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas. So we got something in common there, Brandon.
Woo pig.
There you go. All right, let's see here. BJ, can you send him down
Yep.
to, you know which one?
Good luck to you, Brandon. Yes, I do.
All right.
All right, and out on track now we have last week's winner, the 12 of Frankie Barroso, Jason Bridges, and Doug Newbigging now rolls out on track as well. There you see Frankie Barroso's number 12 machine. Nice little throwback.
From Miami Shores, Florida. There's the 34 car from Houston, Jason Bridges. Jason Bridges in the NASCAR Hall of Fame car there. Doug Newbegin brought out for just a second. He put it back in pit road, BJ.
And changed his mind. I wonder if he maybe made contact with the wall. Frankie Barroso goes 7th quick with his first lap. Looks like he's going to go ahead and pull it down, seeing he's on the apron in 1 and 2. Jason Bridges 11th quick with his second lap. He's going to... Looks like he's continuing on around and getting some practice laps, though, right now.
Yes, he is. So 11 cars have timed in. Your top 5 looking like this. Mikey Neal Jr. Oh, look if Barroso goes quick time. He's going to pick up where he left off last weekend. He said the win wasn't good enough. He wants to be the fast qualifier here tonight. He will take over with a 29.23. Your top 5 looking like this. Frankie Barroso, Mikey Neal Jr., Scott Fritz, Cedric Cutter, and Brandon Holder. Your top 5. 6th through 10th is Gabriel Ellison, Alex Huffman, Jonathan Cogswell, David Farber, Matt Grenier, and Jason Bridges in 11th. On track right now, in car number 7 is Doug Newbegin. Doug Newbegin in the 7 machine.
Barossa not only quick time, but quick time by a 1/10.5 almost. Absolutely flying. You know, to people that don't know a lot about racing, you think a 1/10 of a second, and it's not very much. It's like blinking your eyes. It's only about that speed. But on the racetrack, a 1/10 can be quite a gap between two drivers. And when you got no draft, everybody's out there pushing. They're all by themselves. They're racing the clock. A 1/10 could be a really big deal. Doug Newbegin looks like he got the wall there in turns 3 and 4, so his laps will not count. Has no laps timed in here tonight for the 7 car. Qualifying has come to an end.
And while we look at the results, BJ's going to look at his mic and see why it's popping. So you look at your results right here. Your top 5 looking like this: Frankie Barroso, Mikey Dill Jr., Scott Fritz, Cedric Hunter, and Brandon Holder. Your top 5. Are you ready for tonight's starting grid?
Hopefully. See if my mic will quit its shenanigans.
All right, and on the pole tonight, in the Texas Family Racing, car number 12, has one win last week, Frankie Barroso. And to his outside, Team Syndicate. And car number 8, we have live look-in with him, and he's had, I believe, 2 wins on the season, Mikey Neal Jr.
Inside row number 2, the T-Berry Motorsports number 1, it's Scott Fritz. To his outside, category 5, Esports Lucky Duck Motorsports, the 71 of Cedric Hunter.
In row number 3, to the inside, the gloves come off tonight. In the Glove Box Motorsports, car number 31, Brandon Holder. And to his outside, he hails from the Mid-South. In car number 77, Gabriel Ellison.
Row number 8 on the inside, Elite Motorsports number 2, Alex Huffman. To his outside, Lucky Ducks Motorsports out of Indiana, it's the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell.
In your 5th row, he hails, well, we know, from the United States. In car number 84, he has a good runs this season. It's David Farmer. And to his outside, the Team New England, car number 15, Matt Grenier.
Row number 6 on the inside, high side, Hustlers number 34, it's Jason Bridges. To his outside, the 7th from Lucky Ducks, it's Doug Newbegin.
And your final row tonight, in car number 13, he hails out of the Mid-South, is no other than Brian Terry. There's your starting lineup for the Bluegrass Cup Series here at Darlington. Let's get ready to roll for BJ, 188 laps.
188 laps, 2 stage breaks, 13 drivers. Cannot wait to see how this one plays out. We have delayed the green. Just gives me a second to confirm. Does my mic sound any better at all?
It's popping still a little bit.
Popping. All right, we'll work on that. So I'm going to sound for a few seconds.
All right, that's like I said, it delayed the green. We'll make another 8 lap around as it comes down the front straightaway. Barney the iRacing flag gives LA a signal to turn off the lights as Nick is driving the car. We're fixing to go green out of turn number 4. The drivers are racked and stacked for 188 laps. Make sure to hit that like, hit that follow button, share out the broadcast. We sure do appreciate you tuning in tonight. Mikey Neal Jr. in the 8 machine. Starts on the outside front row. Frankie Barroso to 12, your last week's winner. Row number 2, Scott Fritz and Cedric Hunter. The pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Mikey Dill, Frankie Barroso waiting on the flagman to wave that green flag. The power of 13 cars, 188 laps, and oh my goodness, that didn't turn out too well. That 12 car, Frankie Barroso spinning the tires on the start. That allows Mikey Dill Jr. to have the early race lead coming out of turn number 2. Here comes the 71. He's been strong all season long. Is Cedric Hunter. He goes to the inside, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Give it to Cedric Hunter, your early race leader. Mikey Dill Jr. in the hip pocket as they come out of turn number 4 to complete lap number 1 of 188 here tonight.
Cedric Hunter taking the early race lead very, very quickly. Barroso, issues with changes from practice to the race. He's not really sure what happened. He started the same way that he did when he was practicing. Didn't have any issues with it. But here in the race, I don't know if the weather's changed on him from what it was when he was practicing, but having some issues there. Finds himself in 4th with an uphill battle now to try to get back up to the front.
As you look at Mikey Dill starting to lose some ground from Cedric Hunter in that 71 machine, as we will look on board with Mikey Dill Jr. As you see him right now looking kind of steady there in the turns. You don't see that steering wheel turning too much, as he's now in the front straightaway. Mikey Dill Jr., our live look-in driver of the night. Trying to chase down the 71 of Cedric Hunter as they come down the back straightaway. Your top 5 look like this: Hunter, Dill, Ellison, Barroso, and Huffman. Your top 5 here at Darlington with the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Simulcast live on the Bluegrass Facebook and YouTube channel and dirtfan.com.
Just like that, we're already on a lap number 5. Barroso, our pole sitter, falls all the way back to 6th already. Could be sitting back. We've seen him a lot throughout the season with late run speed, so he could be sitting back, saving his tires right now. Our biggest mover of the race so far, only 4 positions up right now. That's going to be Doug Newbigging in that 8th position. Remember, he did not get a time in a qualifying tag the wall, but is showing some speed here in the race, working his way forward.
Scott Fritz lost 4 spots at that start of the race. Currently running in 7th, as he was behind Barroso on that start when Barroso spun his tires. And you see Doug Newbigging, he's up 4 spots in that 8th position in 7th. He had no time coming in the start of the race. David Farmer still started 9th, still in that 9th position. But meanwhile, Cedric Hunter is starting to walk away here at Darlington, as we're on lap number 7. As you look at Ellison closing in on the hip pocket of the 8 machine of Mikey Dill there. Good job for Gabriel Ellison.
Yeah, listen, we've seen him strong throughout the season. Only picking up 1 win, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually going to double check that. Gabriel Ellison with 2 wins on the season. Sorry, I am wrong. With 2 wins on the season, but he's been up towards the front pretty much all season long, with another strong run starting here tonight. Everybody's single filing it out. You see the top 6, I believe it is right there, all getting spread out. Cedric Hunter up to nearly a full second lead at the moment.
Jonathan Cogswell, look at him in that 5th spot of 3 spots at the start of the race in that 27 machine. Directly in front of him is the number 2 of Huffman. Huffman driving a nice looking car there. Looks really nice. Currently sitting in that 4th position. Brian Terry all by his lonesome here into number 13 in his nice little throwback car there. Jason Bridges right ahead of him, putting pressure on Brendan Holder from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas in that 30 wad, the BK Paints machine. And then there's Frankie Barroso. Barroso has lost 9 spots at the start of the race. When he spun those tires, Matt Grenier is now around him in the 9th position.
Barroso looking back to the inside as they go down into turn number 1 side or 3 side by side through turns 3 and 4. Barroso is going to get that position back, move him back into 9th. 8 positions back from where he started, not where he wants to be. But I do get the feeling, I still think he's saving his tires at the moment because he really doesn't look as though he's pushing that car. However, one driver that is, you see him right there, just went off the bottom of your screen. The 7 of Doug Newbigging up 5 spots already here early in this race and hungry for more. Newbigging, saw him struggling here in qualifying, talked about it earlier. He's on an absolute tear right now.
That's right, Cedric Hunter there, your race leader, pulled away still from Mikey Dill Jr., that nice little orange machine there. Gabriel Ellison in the 77, and there's Alex Huffman. Huffman in that 2 machine, your top 4. Jonathan Cogswell still in the top 5. Fritz directly behind him in the 6th spot, and Doug Newbiggin in the 7 machine.
Yeah, he's looking hard at the back bumper of the number 1 machine of Scott Fritz right now. He's gained a lot of ground on him. Gets up into the wall just a little bit there, just getting himself a little bit of a Darlington stripe there. It's all he's doing, not really hurting the car with that, I don't think. Just a light brush here in a race. It's not really going to hurt him unless he does it too much, which he does do it again, as it did in qualifying where it discounts his lap. Doesn't look like there's really even a mark. Very loose coming off of turn number 4 right there. Gains that ground right back up on the back of Scott Fritz, though. Fritz with a strong run going so far here tonight. He might be back 3 spots, but he's still right outside of the top 5, all the way to the inside for Doug Newbigging. Looks like that car might be starting to become a little bit of a handful. Looks like he's getting very loose off the corners, tagging the wall just about every time he goes in. Loose coming off. See, I think he's I don't think he was quite ready for tonight.
Definitely not. But Mikey Dill Jr., that 8 machine, actually, BJ, he started to close in on your race leader. Let's take a live look in at him right now. So we're on lap number 15 of 188. See him coming out, turn number 4 down. Oh, look at Cedric Hunter. Got loose up against that wall. That's going to allow Mikey Dill Jr. to close up. Now, look how tense Mikey Dill looks right now, DJ.
He's definitely got a grip on that wheel. See his one finger up. That's his shifter finger. These cars have sequential shifters. Everything is on the paddles right there. You see on the back of the wheel, so he's ready to shift that thing if he needs to. Right now, he's right up on the back bumper. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble through turns 3 and 4 right there for him. He's going to lose a little bit of ground to Cedric Hunter. But Hunter pushed that car early on, pulled out to an earlier race lead, got himself a little bit of a gap. Mikey Neal Jr. was able to save his tires during that time. Is now starting to close that gap back up once again. Look at the run he gets off turn number 2 right there. Closed up nearly a 10th on that back straightaway.
Yeah, right there's your top 2 on the track. A little further back there, you see Gabriel Ellison coming into the picture. So your top 3 have pulled away from 4th place. There is Alex Huffman right there crossing the start finish line on lap number 18. Jonathan Cogswell right there. Scott Fritz into 1, and David Farmer. I'll tell you this, BJ, the first 2 races of the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, we already had our first caution by this time. And we're doing pretty good here in the Cup Series. As you look at the 12 of Frankie Barroso, goes to the inside of David Farmer. Farmer on the outside. He's going to give it to Barroso. Barroso driving. Trying to make up some positions. Oh, look out. David Farmer got loose off of that turn.
Yep, going up high, letting Barroso go by very well could have caused him to get the marbles right there on exit. And he's got it sorted back out. He's continuing on, no harm, no foul. Barroso, however, moving his way back forward, found himself clear back in 10th, sits in 7th right now. He's got a good run trying to charge his way back forward. Still a long ways to go, but 15 to go till the end of the stage.
That's right, 15 to go for Cedric Hunter as you're watching David Farmer as he's losing ground from Frankie Barroso. There's Matt Grenier, that 15 machine. He started 10th, still currently running 10th. Brandon Holder lost 4 positions on that start. He's currently running in that 9th position in the 31 machine. Good job for Brandon Holder there from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas. As he said in the pre-race interview that last week he overshot his pits and that cost him the win. And Frankie Barroso picked up the win of race number 1 of the playoffs. Next week, we go to the round of 12 here with the Bluegrass Cup Series. As you watch Barroso now starting to close in on Scott Fritz there. Fritz on the back bumper of the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. And you see the 2 of Alex Huffman right there. And then up front, you see the 77 of Gabriel Ellison. Mikey Neal Jr. to 8. Amp Energy National Guard machine. And Cedric Hunter right there, the Roasted Jim's Coffee. Roasted Jim's Coffee is also a sponsor of the Bluegrass iRacing Series. So make sure check out Roasted Jim's Coffee. And if we get to interview him, he'll tell you a discount code if you order it online a little later on tonight.
I know the code. I wrote it down.
Well, it definitely was not 50.
No, it was not.
We figured that much out.
Who is that? That was Doug Newbing, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it was. Told us it was 50% off. Man, I was all sorts of excited.
All right, as we're on lap number 24 of 188 here at Darlington. As Cedric Hunter, your race leader, Mikey Neal Jr. still sitting in that second spot. There you see the 77. So top 3 right there. A little further back right there, there is the 2 of Alex Huffman Cogswell all over his business as they come down the straightaway. And right behind him is Frankie Barroso. He's trying to pick up spots that he lost on the start of that race.
He is coming very, very quickly back through there. This just goes to show he was sitting back and saving, knowing that he had the speed to do it. Finds himself back in the top 5 already, bringing Scott Fritz right along with him side by side for that 6th position. Fritz and Cogswell. Cogswell on the outside, a little bit of a bobble coming off of turn number 4. He's all right, though. Did not lose control, did not even lose momentum. He's going to pull right back ahead of Fritz. Fritz falls in line, now under attack by the 31 of Brandon Holder.
As it comes out of turn number 2, Fritz will clear Holder. Holder will fall back in line, but Barroso down to the inside Huffman. That's a battle for 4th as they go into turn number 3. In the middle, 3 and 4 right there. Give it to Barroso for that 4th spot. Huffman falls back to 5th. Oh, Huffman got loose off the turn. That's going to allow Jonathan Cogswell to dominate and get to that spot, and so does Scott Fritz as Huffman now falls back to 7th after getting loose. But meanwhile, look at Cedric Hunter. He's starting to pull away from Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey Neal Jr. in the 8 machine, qualified on the outside front row, led the first 2 turns, and in turn number 3, Cedric Hunter took the lead on lap number 1 and has not looked back. As you see Ellison right there trying to find something to get around the 8 machine of Mikey Neal Jr. Has not found that success yet, but is looking for it. Time is patience. You know, patience is time, I guess you could say. And that's something that you're looking at Ellison. He's giving some patience here right now as he tries to navigate around the 8 machine.
Yeah, we saw it all week long how tough it is to pass here at Darlington. The track looks really wide, but when you actually get down on there, you'll see the banking changes right there where that dotted line is on the inside of those turns. That is actually the bottom of the racetrack. So that track not got a lot of space at all through the turns especially. You'll see the drivers, most of them diving from the bottom to the top in the middle of the turns and then back to the bottom on exit, that's where the speed is, and that's where it gets hard to pass because almost all of the drivers will be using the entire track. And one thing that I was asked to mention, if there's anybody out there watching that happens to race in real life, say hello in the comments. Try to contact Alex Healy if you can. He works for a company called Holly EFI. They're trying to get them on as a sponsor here at Bluegrass. They want to know how many people out there race in real life that watch the broadcasts. So if you're out there and you're racing in real life, go ahead and say hello in the comments and let them know.
Well, they should have asked that the first 2 nights.
Right?
I'm just saying.
Right? Can't disagree with you on that one.
But definitely, as BJ said, if you race in real life, go ahead and put your name in the comments anywhere on YouTube, Facebook. They'll look for it. As they're right there, you see Cedric Hunter. There is Mikey Neal Jr. Frankie Barroso in that 4th spot there. As the drivers are singled out, nose to tail. You're in Darlington. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Simulcast live on the Bluegrass Facebook and YouTube and dirtfan.com. There you see the battle of your top 3. Ellison a little further back. Now you look at Mikey Neal Jr. to the inside of the 71 of Hunter. Hunter with the momentum, though, on the outside. Hunter comes down. They barely almost make contact there. Oh, no. Mikey Neal Jr. around.
Cedric Hunter tagged onto him as well. Unfortunate for both of our top drivers. Not a position they want to be in. We'll take a look here at our NLRA instant replay. Looks like there's a little bit of a bobble out of Cedric Hunter, just tagging him right there. Lucky for these drivers, that is the end of the stage, though. So they'll be able to head down pit road, get those tires replaced that they just wore out there. You see it a little bit loose out of the 71 of Cedric Hunter. Catches the right rear of Mikey Neal Jr. Unfortunate turn of events for those drivers.
But you know what? I mean, you got to say, yes, unfortunate. But to give credit due for those 2 drivers, that it wasn't worse than what it was.
Oh, 100%.
As Elsa brings the field down pit road. I mean, it took both of them, Mikey Neal heavy on the binders, not to go head on to that wall, and it took Cedric Hunter, to be on the binders too and not really drag them too much deeper,
Absolutely. If Cedric Hunter would have turned left or right with that one, either it would have spun Mikey Neal Jr. all the way around if he'd have turned left, and if he'd have turned right, he probably would have turned him in the wall, and both those drivers could very easily have ended up with terminal damage, because either direction Mikey Neal Jr. would have got spun, he would have been in worse line of traffic and been causing drivers to dart left or right even more. So good heads up decision by both drivers to just lock it down and come to a sliding stop right there.
Well, Hunters and Terry stayed out. Ellison first off at pit road. Barroso, Holder, Fritz, Cogswell, Huffman, Grenier, Farmer, Bridges, Newbegin, Mikey Neal Jr., and Jason Collins. Well, Collins not in the race. But Cedric Hunter now will go down pit road with Brian Terry. Your new race leader will be that 77 machine of Gabriel Ellison.
So those drivers, by the sounds of it, will get to keep their positions based on when the caution came out and where they were when they slid across the line. So interesting call, even though Cedric Hunter sits right now in 9th, Mikey Neal Jr. in 8th. Very, very interesting call.
Definitely. For the restart, Ellison will choose the inside line. All right, at the Geico restart zone, Ellison fires. Barroso still got caught sleeping there on that restart as they go into turn number 1. It's Ellison, Barroso, and Holder, your top 3. 4th right now is Scott Fritz, Jonathan Cogswell. Matt Grenier sitting in that 6th spot. There you see Cedric Hunter and Mikey Neal Jr. battling side by side. David Farmer now gets around Cedric Hunter. Hunter off the pace. BJ.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there. Takes it all the way down to the bottom of the apron. I can't help but wonder if maybe he was speeding in pit road or something. Has to bring it down for a quick stop and go into green flag racing. Brian Terry takes it down pit road as well. Everybody in the field under that caution took 4 tires, except for Doug Newbigging, David Farmer. Newbigging only taking 2 tires. David Farmer only taking fuel. So some different strategies coming into play here. We'll see just what happens here with Cedric Hunter and Brian Terry. See how long it takes them to get back out on track. But our race leader right now, Gabriel Ellison, Frank Barroso in 2nd, Brandon Holder 3rd, Scott Fritz 4th, Jonathan Cogswell will round out the top 5 here right now as everybody single files it out.
Single file, Ellison showing the way. But the top 3 trying to pull away from Scott Fritz there in that 4th spot, and Cogswell, who's been in the top 5 all night long. Matt Grenier sitting right there with Jason Bridges. Cedric Hunter still down pit road, so BJ, something definitely must be going wrong with that machine. As Mikey Neal Jr., who was running 2nd until that caution came out, when him and Cedric Hunter got into it off of turn number 4, Mikey Neal Jr. tried to come back from the deficit he got dug into there. And look at Doug Newbegin currently running in that 9th position. David Farmer in 10th, Alex Huffman in 11th.
Very good possibility. Cedric Hunter coming back out on track now ahead of 44-second pit stop there. It's very possible that he acquired some left front damage to that car. One thing I have noticed about these cars with the newer build for these coming in the last week 13 here on iRacing, it does seem as though the toe links and different things on these cars are breaking a lot easier. So there was a very good chance that there was some bad damage done to the left front of Cedric Hunter when he made contact with Mikey Neal Jr., and that is what took him so long to get back out on pit road. Everybody on track now still single filed out. Brian Terry, Cedric Hunter, both 2 laps down. Everybody else on the lead lap right now.
Definitely, as you look right there, there's Scott Fritz in the 4th position. Jonathan Cogswell in 5th. Alex Huffman, we haven't talked much about him, but he was running up front now in that 11th position. Far back from, David Farmer right there. Gotta wonder something arised on that number 2 machine to get him that far back in 11th spot.
There's a very good possibility that there is. He did have a 23, nearly 24-second pit stop for that number 2 team, so not real sure what caused him to go down. Didn't really see any major contact to the wall. Right now, he's got to fight to get those positions back, get back up there where he is. We've seen how crucial the clean air is all week long to be out in front or up towards the front. The less cars you have in front of you, the faster you're going to be able to drive the car. And you don't have to battle with anybody. You can choose whatever line is fastest, and that's what drivers right now are dealing with, such as Mikey Neal Jr., as he just goes around Matt Grenier. That is for 7th.
As you look at the nose cam of Mikey Neal Jr.'s car as he made that pass, he looks a little relaxed right now. Look at him move his neck around.
Yeah, I mean, you got to relax at some point. It's a long race. If you're going to stress the whole time, then it's going to be a really long race. But while we got a break in the action, our official top 10 has come in. I was wondering what exactly our top 10 finishers would come out to be after the reviews, but Gabriel Ellison coming home with the win on the stage. Mikey Neal Jr. second. Cedric Hunter comes in third. Frankie Barroso fourth. Brandon Holder fifth. Scott Fritz sixth. Alex Huffman seventh. Jonathan Cogswell eighth. David Farmer ninth. Matt Grenier 10th. Doug Newbigging 11th. Jason Bridges 12th. And Brian Terry will round out the top 10. Actually, that was the whole field. All right.
Looking on to the drone cam of the number 12 machine of Frankie Barroso sitting in that second spot. You can see Brandon Holder right there. Holder has to get off the gas going into the turn. Right up against the bumper there. Pretty neat little camera. As now we look off the back. Holder right there in his hip pocket, waiting for a mistake from Barroso. He might not get it, that's for sure, as we're on lap number 48 here at Darlington. As we're fixing to go to the crank it up cam as they come to the start-finish line. As we're going to complete the lap under the crank it up cam, as we're on lap number 50 here at Darlington, the Bluegrass Cup Series, live on Ultimate Dirt TV, simulcast live on the Bluegrass Facebook, YouTube, and dirtfan.com. Allison sitting in that second spot there. Frankie Barroso, your race leader. Barroso getting around Ellison for the race lead, and now starting to pull away. As you look at the Mammoth Springs, Arkansas driver of the number 31, Brandon Holder, all over Ellison there. Holder right up against that wall. There's Scott Fritz, and now the top four. Pretty close together. They got Jonathan Cogswell sitting in fifth, a little further back. And then there's Mikey Neal Jr. separating himself from Jason Bridges there. Bridges in that 34 NASCAR Hall of Fame car. Nice looking ride. There's Doug Newbiggin. Up 4 spots, currently running in the 8th position. Matt Grenier in the 15, currently running 9th. David Farmer right behind him in that 10th position. And there's Alex Huffman. He's closed the gap. He was way far back. He's starting to close the gap on the 84 of David Farmer.
Still running up front, though, Frankie Barroso, followed by Gabriel Ellison, Brandon Holder in third, Scott Fritz in fourth, and Jonathan Cogswell still running in that 5th position. Our biggest movers of the race so far is Gabriel Ellison, Jason Bridges, and Doug Newbigging. All of those drivers up for positions. Biggest loss of the race so far, though, Cedric Hunter found himself up in the lead on lap number 1, now sitting 2 laps down. An unfortunate turn of events for that driver, him and Mikey Neal Jr., who's made his way back into 6th and working his way forward very quickly.
As you see him on lap number 54 there. The top 4. Fritz right there in the 1 machine, the butt kicker number 1. There's Jonathan Cogswell all by his lonesome, and there is the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. Starting to close the gap in between him and Jonathan Cogswell. Mikey Neal started on the outside front row, was running second, went to make a pass for the lead. And Cedric Hunter got loose off the turn, gets it to the side of him, spins him right at the start finish line. That dropped him back, him and Cedric Hunter. Hunter, a couple laps down. Actually, he's coming into pit road. So he's still not happy with that car.
And understandably slow as far back, understandably, man, I cannot speak. Understandably so as far back as he is sitting, was getting chased down by the leader, Frankie Barroso. It's very understandable for him to want to come down pit road, see if he can get some more damage repaired on that car, figure out exactly what is going to right in his race, and see if it is possible to make it back up. Still early in the race, still plenty of chances for him to regain that ground, regain those laps, and start working his way through the field. However, up front right now, Frankie Barroso pulled off to 3/4 of a second gap over Gabriel Ellison. Brandon Holder now starting to close in on Ellison as well for that second position. You see him down the front back straightaway right there. Lots of ground being gained as they head through turns number 3 and 4.
Coming out, turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Barroso right there, pulled away from Ellison and Holder. Fritz is starting to fall back a little bit. There's Jonathan Cogswell. And look at Mikey Neal Jr. He's now in the same camera view with Jonathan Cogswell. As we take a live look in on Mikey Neal Jr. to see that sun. It's bright here in Darlington as he's all over that 27 machine of Jonathan Cogswell that's currently running in 5th. As you look, they go into turn number 1. Gets off the gas a little bit. Looks glad that he's back on the gas. Now he feathers it. Look at the run. He gets to the inside, makes the pass. We're in that 5th position.
Little update on Cedric Hunter. The reason he brought it back down pit road, he, and I quote, knocked the right front off. He's sitting on the down pit road right now. So he's been there for almost 2 minutes. Something on his right front broke very, very badly. They're thinking it is a tie rod on the car that got broke. Still up front, though, nearly 2 seconds of a gap. Frankie Barroso over Gabriel Ellison. Brandon Holder right up back to the back bumper of Gabriel Ellison. Now battle brewing between those two drivers.
Scott Fritz right there in that 4th position, but you better get on the loud pedal and start going forward because Mikey Neal Jr., he's coming back up through the field in that 5th position. Now closing up on the 1. The 1 up against the wall. It's going to allow Mikey Neal Jr. to take over that 4th spot. Now he has his eyes set on Gabriel Ellison as Brandon Holder now takes over 2nd. Frankie Barroso on a Sunday drive, winning last week, tried to go 2 for 2. There's Holder holding off Ellison there. There you see Mikey Neal Jr.
So, little bit of a game changer coming into play now. It just was mentioned to me that the drivers aren't thinking that they're going to be able to make it to the end of the stage. With the caution coming out to end the stage, it added 2 laps to this stage. So they're not sure that the drivers will make it to the end of the stage on fuel and have to have a pit stop before the stage ends. So big game changer coming into play for these drivers. Now they've got to start thinking strategy. And one already calling out a pit stop. Scott Fritz just calls out a pit stop. He's going to be heading down this time.
All right, Scott Fritz running in 6th right now, coming down. You see him. There is Frankie Barroso. So let's take a look at the pit strategy board right there. They went 34 laps on the first stint. They're on lap number 29 right now. So we know they can go 5 more laps, that's for sure.
So 35 laps appears to be the longest that anybody has been able to get in testing, from what I'm being told. So if 35 laps is the longest they've been able to run on fuel, some of these drivers have been absolutely flying out here and giving it everything that they've got. So with the extra 2 laps being added on, a lot of questions are going to be coming into play, because once we went back green after the first stage, we would have been on lap 40. Instead, we're on lap 38. So 35 being the absolute max that they can get. There's a lot of struggling going on. More drivers continuing to call out their pit stops.
As Brandon Holder down pit road, so is Jonathan Cogswell. There's Gabriel Ellison and Neil. Look, Neil's been quicker the last 5 laps than Ellison. Mikey Neal Jr. in that 3rd spot there. As we're on lap number 66. Your top 5 is Broso, Ellison, Bridges, Grenier, and Farmer. In pit road, Doug Newbegin, Jonathan Cogswell, and Brandon Holder. Fritz sitting in 10th, the lap down with Huffman, Terry, and Hunter.
And Cedric Hunter has left the building. He has called it a night in the number 71 machine, loaded up the hauler, and pulled out. So his night will come to an early end. Currently looking to see if he is safe in points. We'll find that information out soon enough. But unfortunate turn of events for the driver of the 71. He led early on, and now he sits out of the race. Frankie Barossa, Gabriel Ellison, Mikey Neal Jr., Jason Bridges, and Matt Grenier have yet to take a pit stop. How much can they save? Can it be done? Can you make it to the end of the stage?
Well, I don't know, BJ. I don't know. El Barosso really trying to put a click. Oh, Mikey Neal Jr. loose on the front straightaway there. In the 8 machine, loses some ground to him. There's Jason Bridges all by his lonesome. In the 4th spot, there's Matt Grenier to 15. David Farber and Brandon Holder right there in 7th. There's Jonathan Cogswell. As now you look at the 8, Mikey Neal gets around the 77 of Ellison. That's for 2nd. Frankie Barosso comes down pit road. As your new race leader is Mikey Neal Jr. Gabriel Ellison down 2nd. There is Jason Bridges running in 4th, but he'll at the start finish line take over that 3rd spot. Barosso still coming down pit road here. He will take his pits. Let's take a look. Now here comes Mikey Neal Jr. and Gabriel Ellison.
These drivers coming down pit road, just 6 laps to the end of the stage. He hits the stripe right about there. Now 5 laps to the end of the stage. Jason Bridges will resume the lead, followed by Matt Grenier. David Farmer as well has not yet pitted. Everybody else in the field has either pitted or is on pit lane right now. Still just 5 to go to the end of the stage, but yet a lot of racing to go. These drivers got things shook up quite a lot by that caution coming out. We'll see if Bridges or Grenier can make it to the end of the stage.
There is Matt Grenier sitting in that 2nd spot. You see Jason Bridges ahead of him. 3rd place, there is David Farmer. Frankie Barosso right there in 4th in the 12 machine. He's battling with Brandon Holder. Barosso gets loose off the turn, gives the spot to Brandon Holder. Holder now moves into 4th. Barosso back to 5th. Mikey Neal Jr. sitting at 6th spot. There's Gabriel Ellison in 7th. Jason Bridges making his way down pit road. Matt Grenier will stay out and lead a lap. David Farber right there.
One lone driver left to pit. If I'm not mistaken, no, David Farmer has not pitted yet either.
Here comes Doug Newbigin, I believe that is, to look to go around David Farmer, try to start heading towards getting one of his laps back. Out of turn number 4, Matt Grenier continues to lead the way. If he can make it just 2 more laps, Matt Grenier stands to win the stage. Pit road has closed the options off the table for Grenier and Farmer. Save mode at full swing now for those drivers.
That's right. That's right, mate. That's right. It's Matt Grenier, your race leader. Coming down past the Geico restart zone there, past the flag stand. Matt Grenier, your race leader. There is David Farmer to 84. You see the 7. That's Doug Newbigin. He made a little contact with the wall there.
That's right, Matt, as well. Down the back straightaway, Matt Grenier stands to win stage number 2 of the race. What a change that has come out of this stage in that caution at the start of the stage. Doug Newbigin unlaps himself right at the end. That puts him in a safe mark in order to come down pit road, get fuel and tires during the stages, still be on the lead lap. So at the end of that stage, we got Matt Grenier, David Farmer, Brandon Holder, Frankie Bruce, and Mike Neal Jr., your top 5. Gabriel Ellis and Jonathan Coxwell, Scott Fritz, Alex Huffman, and Doug Newbigin, your top 10, as well as the only drivers left on the lead lap.
As you see on there, Hunter out of the race. Brian Terry 3 laps down. Jason Bridges a lap down. Jason Bridges was the last driver to come down pit road for a pit stop. He's going to be given, I believe, BJ the lucky, almost said the lucky duck, but the the lucky dog award. I guess
yes, he should.
I guess he could be a lucky duck. I mean,
oh well, he's not tonight, but he is the recipient of the lucky dog, however, so he will be getting to go around. However, that also takes away his pit stop. He'll have to pit later in the caution, miring him a lap down. Or not, no, he won't be a lap down. Miring him in the back behind lap traffic even, which I believe the only other car a lap down on track is Brian Terry. I'll be surprised to see if he does not stay out and receive the wave round as well.
As you see the drivers coming down pit road. On lap number 78, 110 laps to go to the end of the race. Let's see who comes off of pit road first. There you see Grenier out of the pits. There's the 31 Holder. Matt Grenier first off of pit road. Barroso, Holder, Neal, Ellison, Cogswell, Farmer, and Fritz and Huffman. Well, be Bridges and then Huffman off of pit road. Doug Newbigin still in the pit area. Alrighty.
It's a very crucial stop from Matt Grenier to be able to maintain the lead, but he has Frankie Barroso once again lined up right behind him. Driver that did not have a real great pit stop, pit entry or pit exit, whichever it is that cost him the time. David Farmer finishing that one in second place, finds himself after the pit stops in 11th position, comes back down pit road though, topping off on fuel once again.
Well, you know, we can look at the pit strategy right there. So you see Grenier, he went 43 laps, BJ, on that fuel run.
Yeah, quite the impressive run. David Farmer, 42 laps. Those two drivers really pushed it to the absolute limits of what they could do. Neil Ellison 36. Those are the next closest drivers in the line. That is right at the end of what they were expecting to be able to run, even saving fuel. So to be able to run 43 and 42 laps, those drivers, man, the amount they were saving was insane.
Definitely. All right, lights go out. BJ, you got the call.
Matt Grenier is going to choose the inside line. Frankie Barroso to his outside. Over the last two nights, we saw a lot of the leaders choosing the outside line right up until the end of last night in the Xfinity Series. We had a driver coming to the inside of it. But Grenier going to stick with where he's comfortable. He's going to stick traditional, go to the inside on this one here. Row 2, Brandon Holder, Mikey Neal Jr., two of the quicker drivers here all night long, surrounding the 15 of Matt Grenier. Can he hold on? Brandon Holder, he's back up there as well in that third position. Pace car pulling off the track. Grenier going to bring us back to the Geico restart zone. There is the stripe mark in the zone. Grenier back on the loud pedal, side by side with Barroso. Barroso sticking right with him. Gets clear of him down into turn number 1. Grenier maintains the lead. Barroso in second. Here comes Mikey Neal Jr. side by side with Brandon Holder. A little bit of contact, no harm, no foul between those drivers. Barroso looking at the inside of Grenier now for the race lead. Barroso's gonna clear Grenier coming out of turn number 4 now, starting to pull away already. Barroso showing his speed that he's had all night long. It is go time here at stage number 3. He's gonna try to get that gap, pull away, and then I expect him to start saving a little bit, get the longest run that he can out of it. Mikey Neal Jr. pulls up to the back of Grenier, taking a look to the inside. Grenier pushed a little bit through that turn, had to check up. That allowed Mikey Neal Jr. to get that run. Interesting. Look to the cockpit of that car.
It definitely did it, BJ? As you're watching Mikey Neal Jr. steering it. Mikey Neal Jr. in that second spot there. There's your race leader. The 12 machine of Frankie Barroso. Look at the gyro cam. Or not the gyro. Yeah, actually it is the gyro cam. It's facing Mikey Neal Jr. There is Matt Grenier in that third spot.
They broke the gyro, so they set it on the dashboards.
Look at this. These drivers, Matt Grenier are falling back as Brandon Holder and Gabriel Ellison both get around them.
Frankie Barroso sets his fastest lap of the race the last time by with a 29.47. Just a hair off of Alex Huffman, the quickest lap of everybody throughout the race at 29.46. So Frankie Barroso right now is absolutely moving. He is ready to rock and roll and get going and start pulling away. However, Mikey Neal Jr. that last time by was a 10th quicker. He's starting to catch back up. Gabriel Ellison ties Barroso's quickest time when he crossed the stripe that time. He's the fastest of our top 3 when he hit the stripe that time. So Barroso, he's got to play it safe right now. He's got to play smarter. He's going to end up being under some really heavy pressure. Very fast guys sitting behind him right now, hungry, ready to go. Mikey Neal Jr. once again quicker than Frankie Barroso at the stripe. Ellison right there on the heels of Neil Jr.
As you look at Brendan Holder, he started 5th on the inside row when Barroso spun the tires at the beginning of the race, fell back, and now is up into that 4th position as he's looking to make some moves here. As we're coming to 100 laps to go here at Darlington. And it took us, BJ, 56 minutes to get there.
It did indeed. And, you know, as of right now, we are tied with the Truck Series on number of cautions and beating the Xfinity Series. Let's see if we can keep up that momentum. Everybody single filing it out throughout the field now. And you know what, Steve?
What?
Let's see if we can't. Let's see if we can't beat some other records here as well on UDTV for the Bluegrass Series. I tell you what, I will throw $50 on it from here to the end of the season. If we can reach 100 viewers at one time.
On which one? Facebook or YouTube?
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
If we can reach 100 viewers on Facebook at one time from here to the end of the season, I'll give $50 to one of the drivers, and each week I'll increase that by $5.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make it kind of interesting. If we get 100 people watching at the same time on Facebook, and they put their name in a comment, we'll do a drawing, and I'll give away $50.
All right, there you go.
So that
100
way,
total to give away.
there you go. So that starts from tonight to the end of the season. So y'all watching, I hope you know where to tune into. Has to be on Facebook, and it can be on the Bluegrass Facebook page, or the dirtfan.com, or on Ultimate Dirt TV. But 100 viewers at one time, BJ will sweeten the pocket for one of the drivers, and I'll sweeten the pocket for one of the lucky fans watching at home. As right now, Frankie Barroso is your race leader in the 12 machine. Mikey Neal Jr. still in that 2nd spot. Ellison in 3rd. The 31 of Brendan Holder, and Jonathan Cogswell back in the 5th spot. There you see Alex Huffman in the 2 machine, currently running 6. Scott Fritz in the 7th spot there. There's Doug Newbegin passing the 15 to Matt Grenier. Grenier's following back. David Farmer and Jason Bridges side by side off the turn down the front straightaway. Frankie Barroso wants to go back to back, win race number 2 as they head into the round number 2, the round of 12.
And I've just been informed that the same thing for Jason Collins. He said he'll add another 50 to it as well to go along with your 50, Steve, to a lucky viewer. Mine will go to a driver. Yours will go to a viewer. But right now, out on track, Frankie Barroso leading the way, continuing to pull away from Mikey Neal Jr. to go back-to-back. Steve, as you mentioned, is doing exactly what he needs to do. Just staying calm, staying up in the front, and staying smooth.
Definitely has. And let's go over some stuff. You know, we talked about this week actually being record-breaking for the Bluegrass. I mean, the viewership in the Truck Series, phenomenal. And what we hit in 24 hours of the Truck Series, we hit in 2 hours in the Xfinity Series.
Bumping it up.
That's right. Some great viewership all over the board from YouTube and Facebook. And, you know, YouTube fans, don't get sad on us. We'll come up with something for y'all, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Jason says we will draw from the ones that comment and like the stream for Steve's and his money, and mine will go to one of the drivers. That's some incentive to the drivers to share out the broadcast too before they hit the track.
That's right.
Well,
you know, BJ, right now I can tell you this: we're not sitting too shabby on shares. 124 shares went out on the Facebook stream tonight. So we're sitting there. That's how many it's been all week long. So we want to increase that for the Bluegrass Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and Truck Series. They want the fans to know where to tune in, cheer on their favorite drivers. And this might be something we lean into the following season, BJ, and start off with a big bang.
Absolutely. And Jason just said his can apply to the YouTube, so the $50 for him will go to the YouTube side. That way everybody's covered.
There we go. You know, I'm always generous with money. I flow that stuff out there. You know, I was always told, if you build it, they will come. As a league owner, I built it. They came. As a broadcaster with Brett, we built it. They came. Guess what? We stepped up with the Bluegrass. We are building it. They will come.
Absolutely, they will. And back to racing action, though. Mikey Neal Jr. has started closing that gap on Frankie Barroso. That gap is now down to right about a half a second. They were over a second for a short time there. Now they're back down to a half a second. Barroso very well could have started burning his tires off faster than he would have liked. Mikey Neal Jr. was able to play it safe, sit back and save. He didn't have any pressure from behind from Gabriel Ellison, so he was able to save him and bide his time to get that run before pit stops begin. Seen down out of turn number 2 right there. A little bit of a bobble out of Mikey Neal Jr., but we've been seeing out of just about everybody coming off the corners all week long. Cars are very loose on exits. Very, very tough track to run. Looked like that time we had a little bit of a bobble out of Barroso. We'll see where they time in this time. Barroso actually pulled away just a little bit more that time, back up to 0.7 of a second.
As they come down the front straightaway, as we're on lap 187 laps to go for Frankie Barroso, trying to go back to back. There's Holder trying to chase down the 77 of Gabriel Ellison. Holder was a top 3 finish tonight. Alex Huffman right there sitting pretty in that 5th position, got around Jonathan Cogswell, who's been in 5th almost all night long. There is Scott Fritz, currently running 7th. Doug Newbegin in 8th. There's Matt Grenier in the 15. And David Farmer. Farmer looks to the inside of him. That's going to be a pass for 9th on the board. Give it to David Farmer in that 9th position as Grenier falls back to 10th. Jason Bridges right there in 12th. Brian Terry a couple laps down in the 13th position. Cedric Hutter out of the race. There's your race leader, Frankie Barroso. There's Mikey Neal Jr., BJ. He has closed the gap.
Yes, he has now under a half a second as they head down into turn number 1. He is on the hunt for that lead position. These two drivers started side by side at the start of this race. They're back in their positions, number 1 and number 2. Brandon Holder in 3rd. He sits 3 seconds back from the leader right now, about 2 seconds back from Mikey Neal Jr. 2.5 seconds back, rather, from Mikey Neal Jr. Giving it everything he's got to try to catch back up. Made his way around Gabriel Ellison. Ellison being caught now by Alex Huffman.
Yes, sir. There is Huffman right there. There's the 31 as you see Holder around Ellison in that 3rd spot. Ellison right there losing some ground to him. Alex Huffman right there. There you see Cogswell. There's Fritz. But up front, the battle for the race lead is fixing to happen in the next couple laps, BJ. I can feel it because Mikey Neal Jr. wants it. He's breathing it. He can feel it. He wants to get there.
Yes, he is right about 3 car lengths when they entered the turn. Barroso seems to be a little bit quicker through the turns. Neal quicker down the straightaways, gets that run off the turns really well. Starts to close that gap. But down the back straightaway right there, the gap just continued to increase. It seemed like Barroso was able to get a good run that time. But here through 3 and 4, you see the strength of the number 8 cars. He's began to gain on him once again. Down in turn number 1, right about 2 lengths, two car lengths gap that time there for those two drivers. Turns 1 and 2 stronger for Barroso, 3 and 4 stronger for Mikey Neal Jr.
Yes, sir, indeed. As we're fixing to come to 70 laps to go next time by. Frankie Barroso and Mikey Neal Jr. way out in front. There's Holder. He's leaving Ellison behind in the dust. Huffman right there. He has a ways to go to catch up to Gabriel Ellison. Now Scott Fritz on the hip pocket of Jonathan Cogswell, who's currently running in 6th. As you look right there, Fritz and Cogswell. Fritz to the inside. Cogswell into the wall there. There goes Fritz around him. Now Fritz takes over that 6th spot. Out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway.
Yeah, it was a little bit reminiscent of Cedric Hunter and Mikey Neal Jr. when those two made contact. We saw Cedric Hunter get loose off the corner when he got up there next to the wall. I was a little worried of the same thing happening when those two got side by side, but they were able to get cleared up and get going. Mikey Neal Jr., though, he's had one heck of a rebound from that issue earlier with Cedric Hunter coming to the end of the stage. And right now, right up to the back bumper of Frankie Barroso.
As you look right now, there's Mikey Neal. He thought about looking to the inside, thought better of it. As he'll fall back in line. There is Holder. Ellison right there. There is Huffman. Huffman is closing the gap on Ellison slowly, lap by lap. As you look now, Mikey Neal Jr. trying to give him everything he got. He's trying to wear out the number 12 car, that's for sure.
That he definitely is, and the more he pushes him, the more Barroso's going to have in the back of his mind, I've got to go, and the faster he's going to wear those tires down more and more and open the door for Mikey Neal Jr. to get by him. Pit stop's got to be coming in very soon for these drivers as well. Mikey Neal Jr. taking a look to the inside now down the front straightaway. He's at the quarter panel. Barroso's got the position into 1.
As you look right there. Woo. Neal falls back a tad bit. There's Huffman. You can see he's closed the gap on Ellison right there. He's getting everything he's got. There's Jonathan Cogswell. David Farmer. These drivers are spread all out. Frankie Barroso bringing it down pit road.
The first of green flag pit stops now underway, starting with your race leader of Frankie Barroso. Thinking maybe it was a little bit of an early pit strategy, but these drivers are on 35 laps right now, so pit stops really got to be coming very, very soon. The one of Scott Fritz calls out his pit stop. 84, David Farmer calls out his. Mikey Neal Jr., Brandon Holder, Gabriel Ellison still waiting for those 3 drivers in the top 3 right now to call out their pit stops. But right now, Mikey Neal Jr. with a comfortable nearly 3-second lead over Brandon Holder. There he goes calling his pit stop out. He will be coming down this time.
There you see Mikey Neal Jr. Right there. There's Brandon Holder in the 31. There is Ellison. And look at Huffman. Huffman battling to the inside. Now Huffman will come down pit road with Mikey Neal Jr. Brandon Holder will take over the race lead on lap number 115.
Only 3 drivers left to pit is Holder, Ellison, and New Bigging. New Bigging threw me for a little bit of a loop there. I'm pretty sure he's the one that caught out the pit stop for Jonathan Cogswell. Brandon Holder down slow on the bottom of the apron right now. He's bringing it down pit road. I wonder if he might have pushed a little too far and possibly ran out of fuel as early as he came to the apron. Relinquishes the lead now to Gabriel Ellison. Doug Newbigging will take over the 2nd position. Those 2 drivers still yet to pit. We'll see how long they can stretch theirs out.
Yes, sir, indeed. Ellison, your race leader. There's Doug Newbegin in second. Frankie Barroso right there in front of him. A lap down. As you look at the pit strategy, as you see the 77 Ellison coming down pit road. He went 38 laps. There's Doug Newbegin. He's going to stay out. He's going to go 39 laps on this tank of fuel. But, BJ, we know 42 they can go.
And 42-43 for Matt Grenier the last time. If you push it right to its limits, you can do it. And right now, Newbigging still staying out. Has not pitted since lap 77. It is currently 1:17. So 40 laps he's gone. See, just when he calls it out, Frankie Barroso will retake his lap. He's back on the lead lap and gaining ground already on Doug Newbigging as he sits right now 28 seconds behind, but Newbigging has not yet pitted, and that gap is shrinking extremely fast.
Yes, Doug Newbegin needs to make a pit stop pretty soon because all that track position he gained, he will lose later on in the run. As you look at Mikey Dill Jr. there pulled away from Doug Newbegin as Doug Newbegin now comes down pit road. There's Frankie Barroso right there coming across the start finish line as Doug Newbegin makes his pit stop. Mikey Dill Jr. coming out turn number 4. Running third. He's going to get one of his laps back. As Doug Newbegin right there, still rolling to his pit stop. Out of turn number 4, here comes Frankie Barroso. He will retake the lead. There is Mikey Dill. So there's the gap between first and second. Alex Huffman running third right there in the 2 machine. He got some ways to go to catch up to Mikey Dill Jr. Scott Fritz currently sitting in 4th. David Farmer up to 5th as he's under attack from the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. Cogswell to the inside. This is a battle for 5th and 6th on track. Give it to Jonathan Cogswell at 27.
And one driver of note right now, Brandon Holder on pit road for almost 1 minute and 10 seconds. And the 31 was in good track position, came down pit road. Must have got some repairs done. Don't know if maybe he had a speeding penalty or something go wrong with the 31, but he went down pit road, stayed there for over 1 minute, and now finds himself 2 laps down. We look on board now with Mikey Neal Jr. riding in a second. You see Frankie Barroso there just up ahead of him. Not sure who that is following him, but I believe that is Brandon Holder following him right there.
Brandon Holder a couple laps down. Trying to get one of his laps back the hard way. As you look at Mikey Neal looking all nice and calm, running that second spot there. And look, BJ, I mean, he's closing in, Mikey Neal is.
Yes, he is. He's had the speed all night long. Very strong on the late runs right now. Stronger than Barroso on an early run on the tires. Wants to get that gap closed as quickly as possible right now. If I was him, I'd be taking it a little bit easier right now, but there's a pretty good chance that Frankie Barroso is the one taking it easy at the moment, seeing as he's so far ahead of Mikey Neal Jr., trying to get that extra lifespan on his tires before Neal catches back up to him.
Definitely, as we're on lap number 123. There's Frankie Barroso. There is Mikey Neal Jr. You see the 31 of Brandon Holder all the way down to apron. Looks like he's going to come down pit road again. Mikey Neal Jr. was running in second, went to make a pass on the leader in the first stage of Cedric Hunter. Hunter got loose off of turn number 4, spun Mikey Neal Jr. out at the start finish line. Mikey Neal had to go to the back. Hunter had damage on the car, had to get it fixed. Still didn't get fixed, and he exited the race. early on. So Cedric Hunter, one of the race favorites to win tonight, not making it past stage number 1.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. He was very, very fast, showed a lot of speed, a lot of strength. Unfortunately, ending very quickly for him. Luckily for him, though, he is locked into the round of 12. But right now, the man of the hour, Frankie Barossa, qualified on pole, fell back, finds himself back up in the lead. Strong run going for him right now. Currently about 1.3 seconds over Mikey Neal Jr. Neal closing that gap very quickly.
Yes, he is. Alex Upton right there in third. And there is your second place of Neal. So there is Huffman. There is Neal. And there's Barossa. Barossa all on his lonesome. He started on pole, spun his tires, started the race. Gave the race lead to Mikey Neal on the start for the first 2 turns. And then Hunter led it until, I believe, lap number 35.
Caution came out, I want to say it was lap 34, actually. See if I can't double check that. Lap 34, yes, when the caution came out at the end of lap 34, which is what increased the length of the second stage by 2 laps and created the gamble that these drivers made. And Matt Grenier, the one that was able to pull it off and win stage number 2 by simply saving his fuel. Right now, the race being led by Frankie Barossa, though. That lead has shrunk to under 1 second. Our second driver out of the race, the 31 of Brandon Holder. He has called it quits for the night. But there you see the top 2. Mikey Neal Jr. gaining ground on Frankie Barossa lap after lap.
You gotta wonder, what is Mikey Neal Jr. thinking? He knows he has to make another pit stop. Does he just try to hang in there, stay close, follow the leader in when he goes to pits, and then hammer down for the rest of the race?
I think that mostly is going to fall on what lap Frankie Barossa comes down. Because if Barossa comes down and tries to go for an earlier pit stop, a short stop, then Mikey Neal Jr. can wait and get fresher tires to the end of the race and be able to make up the ground to the finish. So there's a lot of different plans, a lot of different strategies he could take. He could also try an early pit stop himself and get fresher tires and try to gain that ground quicker on Barossa before Barossa makes his pit stop. There's a lot of different game plans, a lot of different strategies that could be played here, and it's all down to which one you are stronger on, I think.
Well, we're on lap number 131. Barossa been on the track for 19 laps since his last stop. So, around about another 15 laps, 15 to 20 laps, he'll make another pit stop.
Yeah, and I'd have to say with Mikey Neal Jr. showing majority of his strength on longer runs, I'd have to say he's probably going to want to stay out later, knowing that he's not going to lose quite as much ground as some of the other drivers out on the track would that struggle with the longer runs. So I think if I'm Mikey Neal Jr., I would hold off and go for a later caution or a later pit and have the fresher tires to the end of the race, catching up to the back of Barossa right now very, very quickly. Has to let off into turn number 3 to not get in the back of Barossa. Battle brewing for the race lead now. Mikey Neal Jr. pushing it hard off of turn 4 right there. Got sideways, but somehow did not lose any ground on Barossa. See down in turn number 1, that gap starting to increase once again between those two drivers.
Basically, one makes a mistake, one capitalizes on it. Then the other one makes a mistake. The other one capitalizes on it. Basically been like cat and mouse for the last 20 or so laps between these two drivers. As you look at Neil now start to close back in on Barroso. Barroso trying to make it 2 in a row, 2 wins in a row. Mikey Neal Jr. having 2 wins on the season, I believe, or it might be 3. I believe it's 2. Here's Huffman in the 2 machine right there. Nice looking vehicle.
2 wins on the season.
He has 2 wins on the season, trying to make his 3rd. There's the butt kicker 1. That is Scott Fritz, currently running in that 4th position. Jonathan Cogswell with a top 5. There's David Farmer sitting in 6th. And Gabriel Ellison in the 77. Currently running in 7th. Matt Grenier in 8th there. Doug Newbegin in 7th. And Jason Bridges in your top 10. Brian Terry all by his lonesome in that 11th spot. Brandon Holder, Cedric Hunter out of the race.
Yeah, unfortunate for those drivers. Brian Terry, though, continuing to stick it out 5 laps down in this race, but he's going to collect every possible point that he can and just continues to motor on right now in 11th position. And I think I just started having some connection issues again. I love it.
As you look out turn number 4, down the front straightaway, Mikey Neal Jr. You got to be wondering what's going through his head. I mean, do you go for it now? I mean, I'm one of those that's impatient. I would go for it now. I mean, this is me, but
I'm the same way, and I think that's why I don't do well on asphalt.
I just got lucky. I didn't want to get no one's way that truck race. I waited to the last lap, BJ.
Yeah, last lap's when it really matters to really get a move on and take those positions. But I know if I'm Mikey Neal Jr., I'm in the same boat with you, Steve. I'm impatient. I want to go. I want to go for it. I'm going to take that position. Takes a lot for me to be patient enough to just sit back and relax and not go after it, as Barroso and Neal put Terry another lap down. Right now, right up to the back bumper of Barroso is Mikey Neal Jr. So I don't know what I would do in his shoes.
True. Right now, Scott Fritz down pit road. David Farmer, Matt Grenier coming down pit road. So pit stops have begun. And you know what, BJ? What these 2 drivers up front could do? Probably try to split it in half. If they can make it to lap 148.
Whew, that would be a really long run on fuel. I think I'd go for lap 145.
But then they have to make another pit stop. See, they're only on lap number 28 right now. Barroso
Oh,
is.
yeah, they're good then. They're good then.
They're good. I mean, they can go past lap number 148 and be in the good. So, I mean,
if they go to 148, that's 40 laps to the finish. If they go to 145, that's 45 laps to the finish. So it's kind of a, yeah, they would have to pit again. So I would definitely go for 148. You're right.
there is Alex Huffman right there in that 3rd spot, all by his lonesome. There's Jonathan Cogswell, Gabriel Ellison, Doug Newbegin coming out turn number 4, currently running at 6. There's Jason Bridges coming out turn number 4. Scott Fritz, who made a pit stop a couple laps ago, sitting right there in that 8th position. And here's your race leaders. Then Matt Grenier a lap down. Well, actually, Grenier getting around the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. on his fresh tires. Now going to put pressure on the 12 of Frankie Barroso out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Now you see Grenier going to the inside. Grenier will take over, will take that spot, or not take the spot, will get around the 12 of Barroso. As Mikey Neal Jr. there sitting pretty in a catbird seat. Chasing down the Texas family. Can't read all that. TexasFamilyMG.com. machine of Frankie Broso. As they head down into the turn, hardly separating the 12 and the 8 machine. As there's Mikey Dale Jr. Let's go on board with Mikey Dale. See, I believe that is Doug Newbegin right back in front of him. Little bobble out of turn on Alex Huffman there. Oh no, that's Brian Terry. Brian Terry in the 13. He will go to the inside, allow Huffman in that third spot to get around him. As Huffman's down the back straightaway.
So Barroso and Mikey Neal Jr. are getting word that they're saying they still have 2 more stops to the end of the race. Barroso comes down pit road right now. If Mikey Neal Jr. can make it to lap 148, he will be able to do it on one stop. The question is, will he do it on one stop? Will he make the choice to save enough fuel? 37 is the most that he has gone all race long.
And
Question flies.
You see right there, Farmer went 42 laps and Newbegin went 41 laps. I mean, I don't see why not that Barroso couldn't hang in there a little bit longer, because he only went 33 laps on that tank of fuel. But you look, he's been averaging 35 a run.
It definitely has been, and Grenier went 43 laps for stage number 2. So if they save, they can definitely do it. There's a lot of question in the air right now. Right now, Mikey Neal Jr. on a lap 148. We'll see what decision he makes on his. Because right now, he's on 33 laps on his fuel.
Definitely is, as he goes into turn number 3 there. Alex Huffman in that second spot in the 2 machine. Jonathan Cogswell now running third with Gabriel Ellison right there. There's the 12 of Frankie Barroso lap down. Alex Huffman coming down pit road on lap number 149. You got to be wondering what's in the head of Mikey Neal Jr. He's way out in front.
And there is the answer. He just called out a pit stop. He's coming down this time.
So there is Frankie Barroso right there, a lap down. There is Neal coming down pit road. Gabriel Elson will take over the race lead out of turn number 4 down the straightaway. Jonathan Cogswell down pit road with Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman. There's Doug Newbegin currently sitting in that 4th position. As he will take over 2nd. Mikey Neal Jr. getting all the fuel he can, getting those tires changed. We'll sit there, see what happens. As there is Frankie Barroso. Mikey Neal now coming off of pit road. Barroso will take over 3rd as Neal comes off of pit road. Neal on the loud pedal. He got some time to start chasing down Frankie Barroso. Scott Fritz gets around him for that 4th position. Mikey Neal sitting in 5th. Gabriel Ellison has not pitted yet. Either has Doug Newbegin.
Ellison's last pit stop, lap 116. Newbegin's last pit stop, 118. The only drivers left besides Brian Terry, who hasn't pitted since his lap 111. He currently sits 5 laps down. He is coming down this time. However, Doug Newbegin stretching his fuel out. He's going to be aiming for the 1 pit stop strategy along with Gabriel Ellison. Lap 152 right now. We got 153 now. We've got 36 laps to go.
Well, BJ, you got
Gabriel Ellison.
You got to start thinking about it. So we know Broso pitted a little early. So he has to pit again, right?
Yeah, and information coming out of the crew of the 8 machine, he will have to pit again as well. They're suspecting he'll have to pit again as well. So we'll see what happens with those drivers. Gabriel Ellison coming down this time. Doug Newbigin still has yet to call out a pit stop. Like I said, his last pit stop was on lap 118. We'll see how much longer he decides to keep it going. The drivers, I really feel, that are on the one pit stop strategy to the end, Gabriel Ellison, Doug Newbigin, I really feel as though they're going to be the drivers to be watching for come the end of this race. We'll see just what happens. Frankie Barroso will resume that second position, just holding out until Doug Newbigin heads down pit road.
You know what? If I'm Mikey Neal Jr., I'll be blabbing all over to everybody. Hey, I gotta make another stop because everybody else gonna be sitting comfortable, and he makes it to the end with no stop.
That would be very funny and very effective.
That would be me. I'd be telling her, "Yeah, I got pit. Yep."
And then don't pit.
And then don't pit. While they pit, I'd be like, "Oh darn, I missed the pit."
Oh, I was supposed to go down that time. Oh, I should have done that time too.
Frankie Barroso now retakes the lead as Doug Newbigin made this pit stop. There is Mikey Neal Jr. Now, if it's true, Barroso and Neal have to come down for a pit stop. I mean, you think about Ellison and Newbigin could be sitting nice and pretty there come the end of the race.
Another driver to call it a night. Jason Bridges takes it pit side and calls it a night. So that is our third driver out of the race. Brian Terry moves himself into a top 10.
Mikey Neal Jr. He was our live look at tonight. There's Barroso. And let's see here. Well, they look really small on track if you look at it that way. I was going to point it out, but I can't even see them. There's Ellison trying to get a lap back the hard way. As Barroso in front of him. Barroso trying to go back-to-back wins in the first round. Go to the round of 12 next week.
And right now he's doing exactly what he needs. He's got a nearly 3-second lead over Mikey Neal Jr. running in second. You see him there on the screen coming out of, I believe that is turn number 2 and heading down the back straightaway. Frankie Barroso coming through turns 3 and 4 right now. There's Alex Huffman, your third place driver. He's up 4 spots to the good, along with David Farmer, Matt Grenier. Both of those drivers up 4 spots as well.
As well, mate. As well.
That's right, mate, as well.
Would you like to have a little Joey for dinner tonight? Brett's gonna kill us.
Oh, I know. That's right, mate, as well.
Oh, Frankie Barroso out front. There's Mikey Neal Jr., Alex Huffman battling with Doug Newbigin. Newbigin goes down to the inside to try to make that pass. And he does. Newbigin in 9th spot. Gets around Alex Huffman that's currently running in 3rd. As we take a look at that, BJ. Look. Just sit there and look.
Yeesh. Mikey Neal Jr. considerably faster than Frankie Barroso. The last several laps by over half a second, some of those laps even.
He is absolutely flying. He's running in the 29-second mark right now, still in that number 8 machine. That gap that was 3 seconds is now down to just under a second and a half.
Yep, he's been faster the last 7 laps and closing up on a hurry on Frankie Barroso. So, Frankie's going all out, trying it, but maybe you wonder if he's trying to conserve and go the rest of the 26 laps. 25 to go.
Question. It's a very, very good question. Mikey Neal Jr. does not appear to be doing that as quickly as he's gaining ground on him. So at the rate that Mikey Neal Jr. is running, I do not see him making it to the end of the race. It does appear as though he's pushing that number 8 machine just as hard as it will go, as he is quickly still continuing to gain massive amounts of ground on the number 12 car ahead of him.
Well, 24 laps to go. Let's look. Neal's only been on 15 laps since the last pit stop. So that's 39 laps on this tank of fuel if he can make it to the end, BJ.
Yeah, but he's got to be in save mode in order to do it. Save, save, save. I do not see any way that Barroso could make it to the end of the race. But Mikey Neal Jr., if he were to just basically slow down right now and start taking his time, I could see him making it to the end of the race. Farmer, Cogswell, Grenier, those drivers couldn't do it. I don't see any possible way that they could make it on fuel. Ellison is the only driver I feel that is a threat to make it on fuel that is currently on the lead lap. Doug Newbigging sits 1 lap down right now, but he could make it on fuel as well. There goes Mikey Neal Jr. going for the race lead. He's got it out of turn number 2.
Down the back straightaway, 22 laps to go. Your top 2 nose to tail. David Farmer now in 3rd. Alex Huffman made a pit stop coming out of pit road now. So there is the top 2 sitting right there. David Farmer sitting way back there in that 3rd spot. Jonathan Cogswell in 4th. Matt Grenier in 5th. Gabriel Ellison in 6th. Doug Newbegin and Alex Huffman, your top 8. Scott Fritz sitting in 9th. And Brian Terry with their top 10 right now. As you look at Mikey Neal Jr., he's now pulled away from Frankie Barroso out of turn number 4. With 20 laps to go, the butt kicker 20.
And just 20 laps to go. I heard somebody call it their pit stop, but I'm not sure who it was. David Farmer in the 84 calls out his pit stop. He's going for an early pit strategy. The 12, Frankie Barroso. He will be coming down pit road this time. It is go time for these drivers. Get a splash and go, basically, and get going. They're right there at the limit to the end of the race of what they could run. So now they're coming down, getting the last gallon or 2 of fuel that they'll need, and getting back out there, getting rolling. Barroso, Farmer, the first of these drivers coming down pit road. Here comes Mikey Neal Jr. this time by. He calls out his.
All right, so there you have it. He's going to come down, making an early pit stop there. There's Cogswell. Cogswell will become your new race leader. But look at Ellison, BJ. Let's look at this. He's going to be sitting in that 2nd spot. Ellison went 38 laps, 39 laps. I believe he can make it to the end.
Gabriel Ellison can, in fact, make it to the end, and as of right now, is the only driver on the lead lap that can. I take that back. Doug Newbigging has just come back on the lead lap, currently riding in fourth. He's the only other driver on the track that can make it to the end. Jonathan Cogswell, your current race leader, does not have enough fuel nor enough of a gap to save fuel if it were possible for him to make it to the end of the race. He is currently in trouble. Gabriel Ellis and Doug Newbigin catching up to Jonathan Cogswell now to take the race.
There's Doug Newbigin right there. You see Farmer ahead of him. There is Ellison in second. There's Cogswell. Mikey Neal made his pit stop, came out ahead of Frankie Broso, who made an earlier pit stop. Broso now sitting in fifth. You gotta wonder, is his night done, BJ?
Currently sitting at 19 seconds behind the leader of Jonathan Cogswell. If it is possible for him to do it, he has got to push everything he has to get forward. Jonathan Cogswell calls out his pit stop. He'll be heading down this time as well. See him going down the back straightaway. He'll be taking it to the apron here in just a second. Gabriel Ellison will take the race lead off of turn number 4. Scott Fritz, the last car on the lead lap, right in front of him.
And there's Doug Newbigin. He will take over second. Mikey Neal Jr. in third. So there is Newbigin. Let's do the lap times. Let's look at this. Well, it shows Cogswell right now because Mikey Neal hasn't made it. There it goes. So Neal has been quicker the last 2 laps, BJ, way quicker than Doug Newbigin. Oh, Newbigin gives a shot in the shorts to the 13 of Brian Terry.
It's going to make it even longer. Some tempers coming out of Brian Terry over the mic. Those 2 drivers having a bit of a disagreement of sorts. We won't go into what was said, but those 2 drivers not happy with each other. Gabriel Ellison, now your race leader. Mikey Neal Jr. was showing over a second faster than Doug Newbigin the last couple of times by. We'll see if that momentum can continue, if he can catch up to these drivers, if he even has enough time to do so.
As you look at the top 5 right there, Ellison, Newbigin, Neal, Broso, and Huffman. Huffman in that 5th spot there. Doug Newbigin 9 seconds back. Neal closing in. He was 11, now 10 seconds back with 13 laps to go. And you know what, BJ? It's starting to get a little dark out here.
It is starting to get dark. The first of the 3 races that actually went into a night race, all of them ran in the evening, but this one here actually made it into night, or is making it into night. Who is going to win under the lights today? It is still anyone's game. Mikey Neal Jr. finds himself in second, made his way around Doug Newbigin. The gap to the lead now, under 10 seconds. Mikey Neal Jr. on the hunt and coming very quickly.
As the gap shrinks for Ellison and Neal, now to 8 seconds out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. He's closing in on Ellison into turn number 3. That driver is on a mission. He's knocking off around about a second a lap, BJ. And we have 11 laps come to 10 laps to go. 10 laps.
Yeah, at this point, it's a shoo-in for Mikey Neal Jr. to catch Gabriel Ellison. But will he burn up his tires too quickly? Will he lose the momentum that he currently has before he can catch Gabriel Ellison? That number 8 machine is absolutely flying right now. He's using every bit of rubber that's underneath of that car. It does look as though he might have taken 2 tires when he came down for his pit stop. So he's at least got two fresh tires on that car. We'll see exactly what happens here.
There is your race leader, and there is Neal, 6 seconds back. Gabriel Ellison tried to pick up the win here. 9 laps to go. Down the back straightaway and a turn number 3. There is Neal. Neal's now broke the 5 seconds behind. With coming to 8 to go, BJ. There's still time.
Yes, there definitely is. Mikey Neal Jr., Frankie Barossa, both of those drivers cracking the 30-second mark lap after lap right now. Gabriel Ellison averaging right around 31 seconds a lap at the moment. So those two drivers, the 8 and the 12, are catching up to the leader very, very quickly. Gabriel Ellison's got to be thinking in the back of his mind, what can I do to make sure they stay behind me? Just 7 to go into this race.
As Ellison goes into turn number 1 there. Neal breaks the 3-second mark. Oh, Ellison into the wall. Out of turn number 2. That's going to hurt him. Mikey Neal Jr. will close up in a hurry. As there you see the 27 Cogswell gets around him. There is Mikey Neal Jr. just 2 seconds back from Gabriel Ellison. Neal trying to go for his 3rd win on the season. Ellison trying to hold on there with 6 laps to go. 2nd and a half out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Now you see both drivers in view as they go into turn number 3. Neal is there, BJ. He is fixing to be in the hip pocket of Gabriel Ellison as they exit turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 5 laps to go. The Roasted Jim's Coffee 5 laps to go marker here at Darlington.
The race is on. Coming out of turn number 2, look at the gap just continued to shrink massively. Mikey Neal Jr. already taking a look to the inside of the 77, thinks better of it, pulls back up behind him. In line with 77, now to the inside. Mikey Neal Jr. will resume the race lead. Gabriel Ellison falls to 2nd.
4 laps to go for Mikey Neal Jr. He had a phenomenal pit stop the last time. Came out ahead of Frankie Barossa. There's Barossa. He is closing in on Ellison, BJ. We can still have a battle for the race lead at the end of this race.
We very well could. Barossa been extremely fast all night from qualifying on, all except for the mistake he made at the beginning. Barossa, you see a little bit of correction right there. He's getting loose off the corners, pushing that number 12 for everything he's got. Once his 2nd win here in the playoffs, won the first one, wants to take the 2nd one. Mikey Neal Jr. said, no, I plan on locking myself into the round of 12 rather than just using points to get there. Barossa to the inside of Ellison, now down the back front. Where are we at?
We're somewhere, that's for sure. As Neal comes out of turn number 4, 2 laps to go for Mikey Neal Jr. into turn number 1. He's not looking back, but there is Barossa. Barossa sitting 2 seconds back from Mikey Neal. Mikey Neal down the back straightaway. You saw Barossa there in the camera shot. Into turn number 3. There's Barossa now in turn number 3, but coming out turn number 4, the white flag. 1 more to go for Mikey Neal Jr.
And Barossa a little bit quicker right now, but he does not have enough time to catch Neal Jr. Barossa needs a mistake out of the 8 car. We'll see if it happens for him here in turns number 3 and 4. Look at how fast Barossa is gaining on him down the back straightaway. Out of turn number 4, coming down the front straightaway. Frankie Barossa will win round number 2 of the playoffs here at Darlington.
You said Barossa. It's
Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey Neal Jr. will win.
Barossa comes up with 2nd, Ellison in 3rd, Huffman, and Doug Dubingen.
I pulled to you, Steve. You did that yesterday.
I did. I did it yesterday. You did it today. It just flows with the workflow.
Yeah. We're still on par.
There you go. Mikey Neal Jr. picking up his 3rd win of the season. Here at Darlington, he will go into the round of 12 as he does some burnouts on the front straightaway. The Amp Energy drink sponsor machine.
I believe that's a throwback to an old Dale Earnhardt Jr. car, which is fitting being the number 8 car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was National Guard and Amp for a long time, so I'm almost positive that's a throwback to him. So good on Mikey Neal Jr. and awesome to see.
Look at that smile on his face. Going backwards. Look at him. Look at him. There he goes.
It's a bit of a different type of Polish victory lap than I've ever seen.
All right, let's take a look at your official results on the board. Oh. That's where you got that from. Oh, that's qualified. I'm like, huh? Mikey Dill Jr. picking up the win. Frankie Barroso in second. Gabriel Ellison in third. Alex Huffman in fourth. Doug Newbegin in fifth. Scott Fritz will come home in sixth. David Farmer in seventh. Eighth will be Jonathan Cogswell. Ninth will be Matt Grenier. 10th will be Brian Terry. Jason Bridges will come home 11th. Brendan Holder in 12th. And Cedric Hutter will round out the field of 13 here tonight at the Bluegrass Cup Series at Darlington. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with post-race interviews. All right, welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV. You've been watching the Bluegrass iRacing Series, the Cup Series here at Darlington, and BJ has caught up with their third place finisher tonight.
That's right, I've caught up with the driver of the 77, Gabriel Ellison. Man, you brought that thing home in third. You sat up towards the front all race long. Managed to do it on the one pit stop where we weren't sure if people were going to do it. What a nice run you had there.
Yeah. I figured out pretty early on in stage 2 that I don't think I had the pace. I mean, I was pretty quick, but Frankie and Mikey and probably Alex as well, maybe a couple other guys, I knew that they were a little bit quicker. So that last stage, I'd pretty much decided, I'd just go for 2 stops instead of 3. And everyone pulled off early, so I figured, you follow the leader, you follow the leader, So I saved a lot of fuel there and hit my targets, but I quickly realized on that last run that they were going to catch me, so I tried something different in the one and caught the wall. I mean, they were going to get me either way, I think, but you got to go for it. So overall, though, I mean, P3 at a track like Darlington, it's tough. It's tough as hell, so I'll take it.
Absolutely, it is. So, man, you pretty much covered everything I would have already asked. So you've made your way into round number 2, or into the round of 12 of the playoffs. What's your thoughts and your plan going into that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Next 2 tracks, Vegas and I think Bristol. So I feel pretty good about both of those. More so Vegas than Bristol, but yeah, I mean, I think that the goal will be go out there and stay out of wrecks, pick up stage points here and there, and just keep on trucking along.
Alrighty, go ahead and thank your sponsor. Shout out to everybody who makes this possible.
Yes, sir. Huge thanks to Lucky Ducks Motorsports. Got this nice Robert Presley throwback here. I'm happy to put that on the podium. Huge shout out to Roasted Gems Coffee, RS Button Boxes, Edwards Racing Setups, and all the other partners over there. Huge thanks to you guys at Bluegrass.
All right, and that was Gabriel Ellison. Congratulations again on your third place finish.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened there.
He got rid of me.
All right, coming home in seconds, Frankie Barroso. You were coming in a hurry on that last lap, just not enough time to get there. What could you done a little differently?
Not much. I mean, if maybe pit 2 laps earlier, you know, it, maybe. But I think Mikey had the speed at least on the long run. Seems like for the first 20 laps, like for the first 10, I was maybe a tad bit quicker, and then we'd even out, and then he'd then be stronger on the last 10, 15 laps of the run. But great job to Mikey. Yeah, that's not really much else I could do.
Well, the track, it was a long race, Tell us, so we had a long race tonight. How does that help you throughout the rest of the playoffs?
I mean, at least I would say the kind of mental like endurance is there, because Darlington's one of the toughest tracks we'll go to, just because you're inches away from a mistake, and if you make it, you're not only screwed for this run, most likely because you probably damaged your right side, but yeah, I mean, Darlington's just one of those tracks that just beat you down, and just if you make a mistake, it hurts.
Definitely. So you're in the round of 12 like that. So you talk about endurance. What's the goals to get to the final four?
Try to win as many races as possible. Try to, just do what I can to get on to the next round. That's about it. I mean, this season, at least I kind of, at the start of the season, I lacked a little bit compared to, a couple other guys like Mikey and Gabe, but I think as the season's gone on, I've gotten a little better. So, not much else I could do.
Well, go ahead and thank those fine sponsors, sir.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank you guys for obviously putting on the show. Jason for making all this possible. Scott Fritz, my teammate, he was a good help. He was a very good help tonight, man. So yeah, not much else. I love this throwback though, a Neil Bonnet throwback. Glad I was able to run it.
Yes, sir. All right, Frankie Barroso coming home in second, and BJ's going to catch up with your race winner.
Good racer.
That's right. I've caught up with the race winner, Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey, you got the race win and locked yourself into the round of 12.
Yeah, man, this one feels so good. Love Darlington, and to come out here, pretty quick. I think we started P2 and originally just got the lead outright early, even through getting wrecked after stage 1. We still had a great car, was able to go out there and pull off the win. Had a lot of fun doing it, but it was a blast tonight. Glad to get some long green flag runs in there.
Definitely had a lot of long green flag runs. Just one caution plague tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about how you expected the night to go?
Honestly, no. Darlington is obviously it's pretty hard to get around, especially passing wise. A lot of people decide to kind of throw it in, but luckily everyone today was really patient. No one really pushed it too hard, which was a good thing, just because obviously there's no cautions, and once everyone gets spread out, it becomes a little bit easier to pass. I mainly just kind of stuck on my strategy, made sure I had a set of tires. The car felt great. I was just able to really save it. My saving speed was not too far off of everyone else's running speed, so I knew that I was pretty set. And going off of that caution, it kind of sucked because we were going to get the stage 1 win there. I felt like I had a really good car to finish off the 71, and then he got loose, got down into me, and I was really worried, but I was kind of expecting it just because it's really hard to run up there. I saw him slide up there, so I turned left, and when he clipped my right rear, I just went straight to the brakes, kept it off the wall, and that was good enough for me. I was able to go from, I think, 13th to 2nd on the next run, and then we were right back up to the lead battling Frankie.
Well, I got a question for you real quick. So, are you going to do the live look-in next week?
I'd love to do it again.
All right, so let me ask you something. How are you going to outdo Alex Healy?
Well, my girl is back in Raleigh. She's 2 hours away from me, so I can't really have her bend over. But I can get one of my roommates to flash everyone over here if that works. I don't really know how y'all feel about it, but I guess it's a competition now, so Alex better watch out.
There you go. Oh, that was so funny. I didn't catch it. Someone else caught it.
I was watching it and I acknowledged it, didn't think anything of it until it was brought up again, and then after that, I was watching that race. I don't really get tuned into a lot of races because I have work, but I finally got to tune in for a race, and that was the first thing I got to hear about, which was really funny. But it was. I'll definitely be doing this. I think it's fun. It shows perspectives for the drivers as well, so I think it's really fun.
It is, and what made it even better was on the right side of him, that shirt asked me about my butthole, and then she is bent over. Priceless. You can go on the Bluegrass Facebook page, and I think they still have a link up to it. You can watch that.
The clip is there.
She got famous overnight.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And I bet Alex was pretty happy out of that too.
Right. All right, BJ, I'll let you finish your interview.
So moving on into the round of 12, what is your game plan? What's your strategy for that?
Well, I got 3 words. I think it's 3 words, and it's Bristol, baby. That's my track that I'm waiting for. I know that's my strong suit, is that track alone. So I'm ready for Bristol. I think that's where I need to gain a lot of points at, and I need to win Bristol because this gives me 5 extra playoff points, which is fantastic now. 3rd win of the season, 15 each round. I definitely needed that because last week I got no stage points, and it put me 7th in the points, even though I came 2nd last week. So I knew that I had to at least, find a way to get stage points. And sadly, I was going to get another one and kind of got taken out there. But, it's racing, whatever. So, to come back and, win and get those 5 extra stage points is big. And, we have Vegas next week, which, anything can really happen at Vegas. I tend to have done pretty good at Vegas recently. So I'm kind of excited for it. I feel like next round really suits me. More of the next round, I'm going to make sure that I can finish the races, and then I really need to work on the next 2 tracks that are after that to make sure I can get to Phoenix.
All right, well, good luck to you, and go ahead and take a sponsor shout-outs. Everybody help make it possible.
I got to thank UDTV. Thank you all so much for broadcasting. Have a fun time and very interesting conversations now that I've heard. Scott Fritz, he's done a great job. He gives a lot to this league, so thank him. Thanks for I don't know if y'all noticed, but that 2013 Amp Energy scheme tonight for my throwback. Love that scheme by Dale Jr. Alex Huffman made that possible, so thank you so much to Alex and Alex Huffman Designs. He is just so amazing. He does such a great job, and he's an amazing friend. He helps out a lot, so thank him. Gotta thank also Kender, Butt Kicker, and all sponsors for the league. Got to thank Jason for putting this on every single week, and go make sure y'all are checking out the Xfinity and Truck Series as well. Oh, also, I got to thank the doctors here. I'm also racing with a broken finger, so I felt like that was pretty good to come out here and win on a broken finger.
There you go.
Ooh, very well done. All righty. Well, good luck to you next week. Congratulations on your win.
Yep, y'all have a good night.
All right, that is Mikey Neal Jr. picking up his 3rd win of the season. Want to thank the fine sponsors here at Bluegrass, the Roasted Jim's Coffee, Kinder Performance, Butt Kicker, Nitro Racing, and Huffman Designs. If you want to become a sponsor, check out the Bluegrass Facebook page, get a hold of them, message them in there, and they can tell you all the packages available. And you know what, BJ? Tomorrow night, the Pro Late Models, the national tour will be hitting the road. Let's see where they be at, BJ. Do you know?
I think. Sure.
Yes. No, they will be. Yeah, they'll be at Volusia tomorrow night. The national tour presented to you by the Bluegrass and Rotel. This will be their 4th race of the season. Dylan Hauser leading the national points. And it's also going to be the first round of points for the Bluegrass Pro Late Ball Series. So drivers compete for national level and for the series level at Volusia at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to join, get a hold of Jason Collins in Discord or Facebook, open setup. It's going to be a fun time. Well, BJ, it's been great for these past 3 days, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night and then having a couple of days off.
For sure. Look forward to seeing a B-32 on track.
There you go. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm Steve McMillan, along with BJ Duvall. We're going to say good night. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow night.